Welcome back to Losfer Words with Lori. So today it is November 11th. It is Veterans Day, so I want to give a quick shout out to all of our veterans out there who have paid the ultimate price, and also thank you for everybody who served to defend our country, because freedom is not free. So I just wanted to get that out of the way, and definitely give a shout out to my brother who is a retired major in the Army, and to all the other amazing people who have fought for our country in all of the branches of the military. It is about, about 2 o'clock in the afternoon here, Eastern Standard Time, and I kind of wanted to weigh in on something today. So bear with me as I kind of give you guys a little something to chew on today. So we talk about, I don't know, let's talk about relationships. Let's kind of chew on that a little bit. As you all know, as I've lost my soulmate, my life partner, the person that I would refer to as the love of my life, to COVID a little over a week and a half ago. And it's been a pretty daunting experience trying to navigate that emotionally, and pretty scary, trying to figure out what my future is going to be like. I don't know what my future is going to be like, and I really don't care at this point. I was planning on marrying him in September of 2022, and we had all sorts of things that we were planning on doing, and the thought process of not having that anymore is pretty shitty, and I don't really want to wrap my brain around that right now, because that's really not what this is about. But in the process of that, and in the talking amongst people, people going, well, do you ever think you're going to date again? And, blah, blah, blah. And, I don't give two fucks about that either. But we talk about how we met going forward. A friend of mine and a brother DJ who's doing a tribute show for Toby this coming Sunday, on Metal Messiah Radio, the platform where Toby and I did our radio show, had asked about, how Toby and I met, and it kind of brings the whole thing full circle about relationships and how you meet people, and traditionally how most people would meet, whether it be in a bar or at a restaurant or through friends or other people. Toby and I actually met untraditionally, as a lot of people do. I met my ex-husband the same way, was on the internet. A lot of people meet people on online dating services. It's, we're an electronic society now. That's how we meet people. And that can be a really good thing, or it can be a really bad thing. In both of my past two relationships that were very long-term and very positive, I can't say anything negative about it. I met my ex-husband, who I was with for 18 years, and Toby, my soulmate and the love of my life. Also, electronically, we became friends, and then, eventually were to be married. I met both of them long-distance relationships. We connected over similar and common interests. It's something that happens very often. A lot of people meet on online dating services now. That very same way, they make connections based on commonalities and things that they have in common, and you get to know people and who they really are based on things that you experience and talk about. And so I'm really kind of a believer in that way of connecting with people through social media or through electronic means, because it is a good way to get to know people in I guess initially as a safe means of getting to know people without worrying about that physical thing or being afraid or whatever, and getting to kind of, I don't know, feel out that situation before you put yourself in a physicality or harm's way. And so, a lot of people, for me, it was a very big success story, and I was a big supporter of that way of meeting people. And so for me and Toby, I think we believe that for a lot of people that was something that would work. I also believe that there's, a lot of scary stories, and there's a lot of people who've had a lot of problems with that, and we see programs on TV about it, about people who catfish people or ghost them or do all of these really negative things, or use people for, I don't know, because they're narcissistic, or they just they get off on fucking with people and messing with them because they're that kind of people. And so, like I said, why I'm a big supporter of it, it can also be a really negative thing as well. And it's just, sometimes it just baffles me that, people will do that and play with other people's emotions. I know early on in mine and Toby's relationship, he had some experiences where he had met people online and they had messed with his mind and messed with his brain and played a whole bunch of reindeer games too. And it can really turn you off to meeting people and cause a lot of mistrust, and it can cause a lot of problems. So when Toby started, doing his new YouTube channel and making new friends in that, obviously he wasn't doing it for dating reasons, because we're solid and we're doing our thing, but you make friends in that platform. And so relationships being not just romantic relationships, but also friendships. And you have to be really careful who you can trust. And so we had some pretty negative experiences in friendships as well on that kind of atmosphere, because when you're dealing with people who are on electronic motives or on electronic platforms, everybody isn't what they seem to be, and people present themselves as things that they really aren't. And that definitely is room for suspicion, and you have to be very careful about trusting people that they are what they present themselves as. And we've talked a lot about that in our first world and with people that we know. And when you do develop friendships, it's very hard to know who you can trust and who's being transparent, who's being real. And platforms being where you can go and talk to people, we have Facebook Messenger, and you can, talk to people in real time and FaceTime and talk to people on the phone, and you still have to be very wary about what people are saying is true. We developed a lot of friendships in the first world where you meet electronically and then you get together in real life and then you develop a friendship, and sometimes those things turn out to be really good things, and sometimes they turn south because, again, not everybody presents themselves to be true and real what they are, and a lot of people are have a lot of hidden agendas, and it's unfortunate, and it happens, and you try to absolve yourself or resolve those issues the best that you can. And there's a lot of really terrible people out there who do those things. So when we talk about relationships, we made some great friends, and I'm very fortunate that even within the tragedy that I'm dealing with, I've made some really good connections, some really good people. And throughout the tragedy, we made a really good friend who went through COVID with Toby and got very sick. And it's unfortunate that the circumstances that surrounded all of that happened to be around an internet relationship. And it's very sad that somebody presented themselves to them as somebody who wanted to be involved in a relationship with them over, again, a commonality or a common interest, over something that they were all doing together on the internet for, a common interest, a community type thing, no different than Toby and I doing music, and they were doing their thing. And as the thing unfolded, it seemed very real, like it was going to unfold very much in the same that Toby and I's relationship unfolded. We communicated online, we talked about how we really had this interest in, both of us being single and wanting to get together and maybe giving it a go and making a relationship out of it. And why not? It worked for Toby and I. Why couldn't it work for our friends? Neither of them had anything to lose. Now, in a perfect world, if people were being transparent and real and honest, it could have had the potential to be very similar to what Toby and I had, which was wonderful and fantastic. But in the real world, where people are false and not true, it was very traumatic for the person who was being honest, and it turned out very ugly. And it's unfortunate that people have the propensity to lie to further their own agenda and gain something, and there's always going to be somebody who gets hurt. Now, the saddest part about it is the red flags were there. And me and Toby, being good people who we are, don't try to get involved in other people's relationships. It was, let's all plan a big old gathering and let's do this thing and let the chips fall where they may. But unfortunately, getting caught in the crossfire of that had some detrimental effects, not only to us as humans, which if we could have just, been like, all right, no harm, no foul, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal. But the backlash that happened after the fact is terrible, and it's tormenting. And it's really sad, really, because, unfortunately, the accountability when people do you wrong, to admit that they made a mistake, apologize, and move on. If they were good humans, they would just say, yeah, sorry, I made a mistake, or I realized that I was just in over my head and I probably should have moved too fast, and just left it alone. But instead, it turned into a really big, crazy, chaotic thing of, I can't accept that I'm a shitty person and a garbage human, so therefore I'm going to have to keep on making it seem like it's their fault and keep on trying to gather and garner more attention, which was their intent in the first place. And keep on terrorizing the person they victimized. And in my world, that's just crap. And it really pisses me off because, number one, my brother man's been through enough. Getting sick, getting abandoned in the middle of it, and being terrorized after the fact when they didn't deserve it, and then losing Toby in the process, and then having to deal with that and survivor guilt on top of it. And frankly, I'm really sick of it. And it doesn't seem to matter to this person that we know the truth. We were here for all of it. But they want to continue to flap their mouth, talk their shit, speak their lies, and try to garner a whole bunch of sympathy and victim attention over it when they're the person who caused all of this drama in the first place. All because they lied and said, oh, I want to be your boyfriend or your girlfriend and I'm going to start a whole new life with you. And that was never their intention in the first place. And then used a whole bunch of people, and then when they turned tail and ran, couldn't own up to the fact that they made a mistake. And now they can't leave it alone, and when they get called out on their shit, they start crying and go, oh, I just want to be left alone. But they won't leave it alone. All we asked was you shut your fucking mouth, own your shit, and leave it alone. And they can't. And so I'm not going to go away. And I'm not going to let them sit around and cry wolf and be a big baby about it and continue to torment my brother man who they victimized in the first place and sit here and think it's okay. Now, I've given you an opportunity to be accountable, to apologize, to stop whining and crying about you were done wrong. You weren't done wrong. I hate to tell you this, but you did wrong. You victimized people. You used a whole bunch of people. And now you're turning around and pretending that the person that you victimized, that you did wrong to, is texting you and calling you names and doing things to you, which is false. Why would the person that you did all of these things to want to continue harass you? I don't get that. I don't get that. They have nothing. They have nothing or no want from you. Just like I wouldn't want anything from you other than for you to admit that you were wrong, own your mistake, apologize, which is never going to happen because your poor victim ass don't think you did anything wrong, and own your shit. And then just walk away gracefully, but you couldn't do that because that doesn't serve you. I have nothing to lose here. I told everybody that from day one. I had nothing to lose because my identity and my life isn't wrapped up in social media. It's not wrapped up in a platform. It's not wrapped up in this fake persona that I've created for myself to get people to feel sorry for me. I'm not capitalizing on that shit. The worst possible thing in my life could have happened to me a week and a half ago. And the whole world has come around and supported me and has loved me and has cared about me because I'm a real person and I've done good in my life and I've done things selflessly. But not you. You don't, nope, feel sorry for me. I did all these terrible things and I've lied and I keep lying and everybody is making you a victim by calling you out on your bullshit. That's crap. That's what you want the world to believe. But honestly, if you were to shut all of it down, turn off your computer, and stop all your shit, at the end of the day, you would have nothing. Nothing. If I shut off my computer, turned off all of my stuff, I would still have everything that I have. And that's what separates me from you. So at the end of the day, you need to stop. You need to be accountable for your shit. Change your ways. Be a good human, because you have to take this to heaven with you. You have to be accountable for that. And there's no atoning for that. There's no absolution for what you have done until you own it, until you admit it, until you're sorry. And you ain't sorry. And until you are, you'll stop. You'll stop victimizing people that you've already victimized. You'll stop pretending that this is everybody's fault but yours. You'll own the shit that you've done. You'll stop pretending that it's everybody else's fault but yours. Because it isn't. It's your fault. You chose. The day that you made the choices to hurt other people with your lies, to try and turn it all around on everybody else, because you know what you've said, you know what you've lied, and to sit here and keep justifying all of it by saying, oh, well, I've got proof and all your fake little inspirational bullshit. I can fake inspirational bullshit as much as the rest of them. The difference is that mine ain't fake. I believe everything that I say because I know it's true. I've never had to tell a lie a day in my life. I tell the truth, and I don't have to cover up my lies with more lies. Can you see the same? And I've given you every opportunity to come clean. And I told you as long as you did and you stopped spreading bullshit, we would let this go. But I also told you that if you didn't, I would bury you. I don't have to bury you, you're burying yourself. Knock it off. When is it enough? When is it enough? Leave the people alone that you've already victimized and quit victimizing yourself. You've got a problem. You want attention, I'm giving it to you. It's not the attention you wanted. You wanted everybody to feel sorry for you, put together your little team, pay for your stuff. For what? Because when you're done burning all the bridges and you think you're at the top, you're going to be all alone. You don't have love, you have self-loathing, and you have crap. So at the end of the day, relationships mean this. If you're honest with yourself and you're honest with the people around you and you're transparent and vulnerable, people will help you and they will care about you and they'll be on your side. But if you burn all those bridges and you lie and you tell bullshit, eventually it comes around. And I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there every step of the way, reminding you of what you did because it's wrong and you can't escape it. You can't escape it. It's always going to be there. Now, I told you to apologize to me and those boys when you were standing in my kitchen saying, oh, no, I'm not the person you're making me out to be. You can't make me feel guilty. I'm not making you feel guilty. If you've got guilt, that's on you. But you did it. You didn't give me the apology. You didn't give them the apology that they deserved. And now it's too late because Toby's dead. And you can't get absolution for what you did to him. You can't get absolution for what you've done to me. But you can sure as fuck apologize to the person you victimized in the first place because he's the one who deserves it. And you can shut your mouth and you can stop with your games and you can move on. That's what I gotta say. Be good humans, motherfuckers. Wash your hands. As a community, we need to stop enabling people to terrorize and victimize people and hold them accountable for the bullshit that they do. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of watching everybody sit on a fence and go, oh, it's okay. Let's take sides. You ain't shit. And I don't care how much makeup you put on and what your boobs look like. If your soul's ugly and you treat people like shit, you're ugly. And that's the way it is. And I don't give two fucks what anybody thinks about it. That's real talk, motherfuckers. My platform. You don't like it? Piss off. Till then, I'll see you next time. Bye.